Here we're standing at the northeast corner of the property looking east. We'll go ahead and pan to the north. You can see there's a fence along the northern border of the property. Beyond that and heading east is state land, a section of state land. Uh, there's not a well-defined road up onto the property, uh, but you can see there's some tracks where I drove my truck up through the gap in the sagebrush. Historically, there was a little bit of a road here, but it just hasn't been used in so long. It's a little bit grown over. No, really any big rocks though, so not much trouble to drive the truck straight on through. And it wouldn't take much to make this a little better defined of a road. And this heads up just past the sagebrush there, about 100 feet or so, is the main access road that heads north south, and that's a well traveled road there. Now, this is about the midpoint of the east property line looking north. Just in the distance, you can see the fence that marks the northern boundary before you get to the state land. Then we'll go ahead and we'll pan towards the east. So the state land goes from the fence there all the way to those houses and the distance, and that's a whole section of state land, which connects more or less checkerboard style until you get to bigger parcels farther west. But you're connected to thousands of acres of state land, more or less. Good view of the valley. That's Yakima right there, just minutes away from that. Panning south, looking down across the property, and then panning to the west over more private land and then state land beyond that. So this is the southeast corner of the parcel looking north. Then I'll pan looking east and then panning towards the south beyond the parcel. And as we continue pan around to the west, the property goes up beyond the sagebrush. There's a little draw that cuts across the corner of the property. And then as I continue to pan, this is looking out across the parcel. So this is at about the midpoint of the south line. There is a lot of elk sign down here in this southern area towards the western part. The sagebrush is a lot thicker and taller. It's a lot denser. There's some tall grass. There's evidence of a seasonal creek off the very southwest edge of the parcel, which makes this all a little bit more lush and green. It's not as green here in the middle of summer, but in the wetter months, looks like it probably has quite a bit of vegetation. Here we're at the southwest corner looking east. Here's the edge of that draw that just kind of hits the very edge of the property. Um, Likely some water in here, or at least a lot wetter seasonally, which provides food and water for wildlife, which there's signs that they congregate here um, outside of summer. Then looking north, it just slopes just ever so slightly up into the sagebrush, um, where you see most of the signs of wildlife hanging out. As we pan to the west, you can see there's a single wide off there in the distance, someone living off grid. This would be a great area for off grid living or camping. Here we're at the northwest corner of the property, and there's a survey marker here just north of this fence that is about the northern line. And then as you look north, everything to the right of this, looking north, is state land. To the left is a section of private land. Um, but you've got a checkerboard of state and private land with dirt roads connecting all throughout this for miles. Just looking down this fence, everything to the left of the fence is state land, all the way to the houses, and then everything to the right. You can see the truck there. Beyond the truck is the parcel, and this fence goes all the way with gaps where there's a road to get through. But this fence goes all the way to the end of the state land where the houses start. And then just panning around, looking down across the parcel, just flat or very gentle slope over the entire 10 acres. And then here in about the center of the property, there's a little raised area with just tall grass. Tall grass, no sagebrush. This would be a perfect vantage point. You have a view of the entire property. Um, Now looking south. Um, but you can tell this may have been where previously someone had set up camp where they can see all around in all directions. Pan west, now panning north. See the fence and then state land beyond. And then panning around to look east towards the road and Yakima. So you can see the view is optimal from this middle location where there are no rocks, no sagebrush. And then just east of that grassy area, we have an old fire pit here. So clearly where folks used to camp, maybe a base camp for hunting or camping or just any other outdoor activities right here. Here, I just wanted to show you the road that goes north-south to access the parcel. You can come from either direction, but this is the corner of the state land. So there is a gate that could potentially be closed, but it's just a loop over a post. So if you come from the north side, you may have to open that. If you come from the south side, obviously, you won't be passing through. I've marked the access to the parcel with these flags and a little sign. It's half a parcel from the road, so just follow the signs, the flags and signs. There is legal access along the edges of the fence as well.